Yeah, I thought you could just walk in and get a form.
No, by state law, by state law, even that form will have a space where you have to fill out your detailed complaint and have to be signed because by state law, any police officer, not only Goose Creek but Baytown, anyone, needs to be able to see that form signed by the person that's having a complaint against, and that officer needs to give a statement saying this happened this way or that didn't happen that way. That's part of the IED investigation process. The district has also a way, again, since I'm on top now, you will have to get with them and be okay, well, I want to file a complaint on this. Because there's not a supervisor above me in the police level.
Right, and when I had called you back in September, that's what I was trying to get at, to get the form. But HR or Mr. Eloy Chop, I've been referred back to you so many times. And I'm like, okay, well, where do I voice my complaint? Who gets my form? And when I called here, nobody had a form. So it's very unusual for me. I mean, usually any department has a complaint form.
Basically, I'm going to give you a little history of how things are going. Okay, at the time when you called me, I told you I'm going to speak to my supervisor, which we had a chief at that time, yeah. Brandon Torres. He left in December.
Yeah.
He was out on medical leave.
Right, I remember that.
Okay, so you could have met with him. You could express your concerns against me or whoever you want to express against him to him. But since he left, it was out of my hands.
Yeah, but you wanted to get the report first before we met, and that's what you were looking for, which was never found.
Because at the time, our old system, report writing system that we had, it was under the old administration. We went away from that when this new chief came in. So everything from the past, we had to go search for. He wasn't in charge. I wasn't in charge back then. I can't tell you how the old chiefs used to do their record keeping. When the incident happened with your son, the chief in charge was Lupe Garza. He's no longer here. Yeah. So he was responsible for filing the evidence and doing what he had to do. Okay, so me being in charge now, I have to go back and look for cases and things of that nature. Some of them are not there. Some are. Okay, so
so my case was never found then, right? Because you had to retype it over.
Correct. The incident report and whatever we submitted to that case was not found, along with others. So, and that's, again, it's unfortunate, but that I have no control over that. The old chief didn't have no control over that.
But the Houston DA should have record if it was submitted like you told me it had been.
I can't say that. I don't know what this new DA does, because remember, we have a new DA. Yeah. So I don't know if they kept anything or anything. The way we presented the case to them is we went to them and they saw it.
Yeah. And you said it was emailed to them, so is that...
You saw it or emailed, one of the two. Mm-hmm. So if they might have it, they might have it. I'm not sure. Like I said...
So it wasn't just my case, it was several other cases
Correct.
That were lost.
Correct.
Wow, interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the district knows about it. It's unfortunate. I wasn't in charge at the time. The old chief that we had wasn't in charge at the time, so we came in and we saw what was going on and we cleared some things up. That's why the website says what it says, because we're working on
because when I called in September, your department here, nobody had the form, so that's when I went ahead and they said just talk to him and see what can be done.
In the future, we are going to have a form that's going to have to be signed, and it's going to be the document that we will need in order for me to start a formal complaint process against an officer. At this point in time,
there's nothing.
We don't have that. Mm-hmm. The proper way of doing it right now is a Word document stating your complaint, stating in detail why is it that your complaint on this officer, signed by yourself in the bottom, dated. You bring it to me, and I can start an investigation from there. I can't take it over the phone or anything like that, because by state law, the officer needs to be present, and I need to give the copy and say, this was being alleged against you. You need to give me a response.
Yeah, and by state law, we as citizens should be provided with a form for us to fill out. To voice a complaint.
It's up to the police department.
It's every form, everything that you need for Goose Creek is online. It's very, very awkward. I find it very awkward that there isn't nothing. The Goose Creek has had their own policing department for how long now, please?
Since 13.
Yeah, that's enough time for somebody to sit down over coffee and whip up some kind of protocol, some kind of form, and have it in place and have it readily available for any concerned student or any concerned parent or any concerned teacher or any citizen.
I agree with you 100%.
And it's way too long. So I hope now that you're in this seat where Lupe Garza sat, I hope that you can get the shit together, because a lot of cases, you just said, a lot of cases never made it, got lost.
Well,
Quote unquote.
It was the reports and things behind them.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, if I contact the DA right now, they're going to tell me there's no record found on my son's case.
Again, I can't tell you.
But you filed it because you told me you took care of it personally. You did.
Correct.
But then right now you just said it falls back to Lupe Garza.
No. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. The record keeping of the police department is one thing. What the DA has is a totally different thing, ma'am. The police chief is responsible for record keeping within the department, however that is. Whatever RMS, report management system they have,
right.
Whatever process they do is either by printing out reports and put them in a file,
right.
and things of that nature.
I understand.
That's up to them.
Right.
Okay. What I'm telling you is, when you contacted me again, I proceeded to look for what I needed from this case. I couldn't find it. Okay, couldn't find anything. I had other cases that need it. I couldn't find them. I wish I could give you a specific answer as to why. I don't know. Those chiefs are no longer here. So
ultimately it falls back on someone who is no longer here.
It's my job to make sure that everything under my command is being done correctly, right. Which it is.
Yeah, but I'm not looking forward from today on forward. I'm looking for something that you handled as an employee.
Correct.
Whether or not we had Garza as the supervisor.
Well, you have to understand
but you handled it. You filed it. You told me you did it yourself.
Correct. And I gave it to my supervisors.
Good deal. Okay. All right. So
that's the process that we have. For example, now we have our process in place where they'll give it to me and we do what we do with it. I have the people that need to file it and do whatever they got to do. That's the way we handle business now. So, again, it's unfortunate that all this is going on. Okay, I've never said no, don't complain, or don't do what you got to do.
No, you never did.
You feel that
you just stalled me for many months after I asked you for the form. You could have told me. You knew right from the beginning.
No, ma'am.
You knew right from the beginning. You couldn't find it. You could have just referred me. Go on in complaint administration.
I stated to you that I was going to get with my supervisor, and I did.
October, November, December, January, February, March. And because I kept calling you, I kept bugging you. And I appreciate that you finally whipped up another report dated 2 weeks ago. I love that. Thank you.
Okay, I contacted my supervisor, which was what I was supposed to do. You wanted to speak to my supervisor.
No, I had already contacted him for you, but...
Who's that? Torres?
Chapa.
No, see.
Back then, you still didn't want to meet with me until you had the report. Because I wanted the report. I couldn't come in here without the report. I needed to see the report.
You wanted a report. I had to look for the report.
That you couldn't find, right?
Okay, correct. I had to get with my supervisor. He knew about it.
Okay, well, that's in the past now. Let's go ahead and try to get me a form. How long will it take for me to do...
What form? We don't have it.
Nothing.
Right,
you haven't started working on that.
No, I have. But see, if you want to file a formal complaint...
It's going to be typed up. I'm going to sign it, take it to HR.
Against me. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm recommending you do. You have a complaint against me. You go to HR, and there's a process that they have that you can file your complaint.
Well, you know, when I called HR, they had no idea how to do it, so...
I can't speak for them. I'll...
Go ahead and give me something in writing if you could as to what I need to do, and I'll go to HR right now. I do appreciate your time. I know you're busy, and I know that this is something new, but, you know, as a parent, you've got to understand my point of view. And it's sad that not just my case. I thought it was just my case. It's really unsettling knowing that our cases, because some of these cases are actually crime cases. If I wouldn't have known that it wouldn't have been handled properly, then I would have went to the Baytown Police Department and filed my own case back then when it was fresh on everybody's mind. Because it was retaliation. My son had nothing to do with that fight. I think April the 28th is going to be the 2-year anniversary on that. So what is the filing limit on that statute of limitation?
It doesn't have a statute.
It doesn't? Okay.
That's why I told you we would look into it.
I didn't know that, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. And I have an officer on it as we speak, and next week he should be going to the DA's office to see what we come up with.
Did y'all get the notes from Ms. Coy, from Teresa Coy? Because she had real good notes on that case.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's an excellent record keeper, because I know that she knows all her previous students from 1980 something, because she keeps all kinds of notes.
Again, remember, since that's against me, you will need to
Yes.
go talk to Mr. Chapa and file a complaint through
Yep.
that.
Alrighty, thank you so much for your time.